This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, residents express their concern as a home for at-risk youth is set to reopen in a Dunedin suburb. Making the South more visitor-friendly, what's being done to improve information for tourists in Southland? And 4 days on, we have more stories emerging of damage caused by last weekend's big flood. Good evening, I'm Callum Proctor. Some community members in Abbotsford are seeking reassurance their children and properties will remain safe when the Abbotsford Home reopens in Dunedin next month. The home is set to cater for youth offenders.
This building in Dunedin's Abbotsford suburb was once filled with at-risk young men. It now appears the site, an alternative to prison for young offenders, is set to reopen.
Our priority is the safety of both the community, the young people here, the young people in the community, our neighbours, our both immediate and wider area.
The media was excluded from a meeting at the home held by the Ministry of Vulnerable Children. Some of the 100 local residents who attended suggested the ministry had something to hide. Will Street resident Dale Bannister told Allied Press via email she felt the local community had not been properly consulted, expressed concerns about the lack of security cameras on the property and said there would be only 2 supervisors on site. She says it was frustrating to have not been invited to last month's meeting considering she lives 2 doors down from the house. She also feels the ministry did not take residents' concerns seriously. Linton says the meeting was held to gauge the opinion of those in closest proximity to the home. He feels positive about the future and says opponents of the meeting were in the minority.
Everybody was able to have a say, and yes, there was a very vocal group and they did share concerns, and we did take those concerns on board, and we do take them seriously. We do consider each concern individually and we see what we're able to do to mitigate those concerns.
And there will be significant changes to the way the home is run this time around.
The major change will be the reduction of young people that we're going to have at Will Street at any one time. Historically we've had anywhere up to 8, but that will be reduced significantly, and we'll be starting off between 1 to 3.
Youth justice representatives who did not wish to speak on camera also told The South Today the Abbotsford Home has saved countless lives. In September last year, barrister and youth advocate Brian Kilkelly hit out at Child, Youth and Family about young offenders who were forced to spend time in police cells or being transferred to residences as far away as Auckland while the home sat idle. Management here at Wall Street are looking to take further security measures, including the installation of cameras here on site. The community will be kept up to date of any new developments prior to the opening in late August. I'm Rosella Bone for The South Today.
Otago residents will have an opportunity to hear the latest about flood recovery work around Mosgiel and the Taieri Plain at a public meeting this evening. The meeting will be held at 7 o'clock tonight in Mosgiel's Coronation Hall. DCC elected members and staff will be joined by Otago Regional Council representatives who will talk about what's happening with water and infrastructure matters around the plain. DCC Recovery Manager Simon Pickford says they want to be able to take residents through what they're doing to help them get back into their homes and their plans to repair damage around the wider city. Well, 2 Invercargill organisations have agreed to make it easier for Southland's visitors to find their way around. The Department of Conservation and the Invercargill Eyesight will work together from now on so as to make information for tourists more accessible. Sharon Rees has more.
Venture Southland's Nick Roundturner rolled up his sleeves today, making the changes at the Invercargill Eyesight. The information centre, located inside the Southland Museum and Art Gallery, will be fitted with signage and displays to reflect the new partnership between the Eyesight and DOC.
I think that having a working partnership with DOC, a closer partnership than we have had in the past, is a really good thing for everybody, not just us but our visitors. Streamlining all the services between both parties here, and just having a one-stop shop for visitors to be able to do everything that they need in Southland and beyond.
The changes will mean trips to DOC's office on the 7th floor of the Q building on Dawn Street are a thing of the past. The joint venture between DOC and the Eyesight has been coordinated by Venture Southland.
The growth in tourism, and the demand on information and services, it's impacting everybody. This is the other side of visitor growth, is that we've got to manage it. So, I really commend DOC because they've identified that and they said, well, how can we, from the visitor perspective, how can we really, do this the best we can?
Eyesight staff are already more than familiar with such wildlife as the tuatara, but have much to learn from DOC about all the other wildlife and wild places in Southland.
We'll be able to do all the different bookings for the hut passes, and also, all the information and resources DOC are going to give us. Training is something that's going to begin very shortly. So it's all that product knowledge, health and safety, weather information, and all the other questions that we usually get asked by customers before referring them to DOC. We'll be able to give it to them, there and then.
Visitors to the Eyesight can expect to see the changes come into effect over the next few weeks. I'm Sharon Rees for The South Today.
Well, 600 wrestling fans gathered at the Invercargill Working Men's Club last Saturday night for the Southern Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Title event. The night ended with 20 wrestlers throwing themselves around in the ring in the Battle Royale event. Earlier in the night, New Zealand Heavyweight Champion powerhouse T-Rex Troy Crosby of Invercargill successfully defended his New Zealand Heavyweight title. He beat Auckland wrestler Jacob Cross. His next challenger was decided by the Battle Royale, and it was J.K. Moody of Invercargill who earned the right and will face Crosby in Invercargill in October. Stories are still emerging about the damage of landslips caused around Otago by last weekend's storm. A house in Blanket Bay had a narrow escape from a slip on Saturday morning. Rudy Adrian has more.
Blanket Bay near Port Chalmers saw a 1 kilometre long landslip sweep past a house, gouging away the landscaped gardens and trapping the owners of the house inside.
I tried to get out, but I couldn't because the mud was right around the whole house. So we couldn't get out the doors, and the windows were pretty high and they were jumping down into mud. So we had to crawl out the back. And then the boys came down and got me out. Then we saw that the trailer in the lagoon was like 100 metres up the hill, and it was just swept right past. And then the fire brigade turned up and they gave access, and civil defence, and they were actually brilliant. So we had a lot of support, especially from the community.
The large trailer ended up well and truly buried in thick mud in the lagoon of Blanket Bay. Incredibly, the house escaped with only minor damage and a broken window. The City Council has issued an unsafe building notice because of concerns of land stability, so it is unsure when the house can be reoccupied. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
Well, still to come on The South Today, clean-up continues in central Otago as well after the floods. We see how the town of Lawrence is coping, and we take you to the annual winter ball at Larnac Castle.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
From rare to the recent, visit the legendary Hard to Find for your quality second-hand books, with the largest stock in New Zealand and a friendly book-loving atmosphere. For good prices, buying or selling, come visit 20 Dowling Street.
Grandad loved his family and surfing, in that order. He taught me to surf, and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St. Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Grandad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. gillians.co.nz.
We're a 25 Moreau Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Hi, I'm Dennis Charlotte and road racing motorcycles is my lifetime passion. It's a massive adrenaline rush, but the high-speed crashes have been tough on the body over the years. I almost felt as old as my mate Ian.
Sportsval, supporting tendons, ligaments and cartilage. And Energy Plus helps replace the energy that everyday living takes away.
Now I feel more alive and have more sustained energy to really enjoy my racing.
Buy 2 packs of Sportsval and get 2 packs of Energy Plus absolutely free. So call now, 0800 502 402.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoura Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Hi, welcome back to Alex Campbell Menswear. Check out our fantastic knitwear selection. 25% off. Possum, merino possum, pure wools, wool mixes. Some of them are even New Zealand made. 25% off.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Jimmy's Pies and Dog with Two Tails Cafe proudly brings you highlights of the Dunedin Midwinter Carnival, featuring the Octagon Lantern Parade, this Saturday, 8:30 p.m.
Welcome back. The Ministry for Primary Industries is working with a South Canterbury dairy farmer to contain a cattle disease which has been detected for the first time in New Zealand. Mycoplasma bovis, which has been commonly found in cattle globally, including Australia, doesn't infect humans and presents no food safety risk. Ministry Response Director Jeff Gwynn says there is no concern about consuming milk and milk products. However, the bacterial disease can have serious effects on cattle, including udder infection, abortion, pneumonia and arthritis. Mr Gwynn says MPI is working with the farmer to contain the disease and treat the animals showing symptoms. Well, Lawrence was one of many Otago towns affected by last weekend's storm, and the locals are still assessing the damage wrought by the flooding.
Several businesses in Lawrence's Ross Street were hit by flooding in the weekend's deluge. The Wild Walnut Cafe was one of those hit hardest, with a clearly visible mark from the 60 centimetres of water from the flooding.
There again we had 2 feet of water, so all of the small appliances, things like that, are pretty much toast. Yeah, there again it's in the walls, lost all the carpeting, floor coverings. Yeah, it's going to be a while before we can get this all sorted back up again.
The owners of the cafe managed to get to Lawrence early on Saturday, where they worked hard with sandbags to protect the cafe from more damage.
It's one of those things that you're never prepared for it when it happens. It's like, gosh, yeah, where do we go from here except try and clean it up and rebuild it and keep on going.
The council is aware of sewer overflows in both Milton and Lawrence, and as a precaution, floodwaters should be treated as contaminated. People whose properties were damaged by flooding can register online with the council. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
High spirits and hot haggis were the ticket at Larnac Castle last weekend for the annual Cadbury Winter Ball. The Victorian-styled revellers had travelled from as far as Wellington to enjoy an evening of music, food and dancing to round out the city's chocolate carnival.
A once-in-30-years weather event didn't deter hundreds of Larnac-loving ballgoers who were eager to waltz and promenade into Larnac Castle's banquet hall for the annual Winter Ball. I'm Roselle LeBone. Here at the 33rd Annual Larnac Castle Winter Ball, people from all corners of the South Island are here tonight, dressed in their Victorian finery for a night of fun and frivolity. This began his life as a rockabilly dress, and I see you've got all the bells and whistles on here. Where are you from, sir?
From Wellington at the moment, just here for the ambiance and the enjoyment.
And the dancing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where did you come from? Burnham Military Camp. Oh, right. There's quite a few Cantabrians here tonight, aren't there? There's quite, it's a thing that, it's Christchurch's got a bit of castle envy, do you reckon? Yeah. New Zealand's only castle was built in 1871 by merchant, baron and politician William Larnac for his first wife Eliza. The tragic story of Larnac's life and death is the stuff of Kiwi legends. It took more than 200 workmen 3 years to build the castle shell, and master European craftsmen spent a further 12 years embellishing the interior. In 1885, a 3,000 square foot ballroom was added. The ballroom was built as a 21st birthday present for Larnac's favourite daughter Kate in 1887. When she died at the age of 26 of typhoid, Larnac never visited this room again. Her ghost is still reputed to haunt the ballroom. But any ghosts from the past were driven out this Friday night by the happy crowd on the dance floor. This year is special as it's the 50th anniversary of the castle's renovation, including the ballroom with its 3 open fireplaces. The chefs, musicians and organisers are a big part of what brings people to the ball every year.
It's in New Zealand's only castle, so nobody else can have a ball quite like we can.
A good organised chaos, how we call it.
It's a great night, it still goes on, there's still a demand for it. We very rarely have to advertise and people just keep coming back.
Then came the centrepiece of the evening's entertainment, the haggis. As the witching hour of midnight arrived, carriages drew up to Larnac to take the revellers back home as they said goodbye to William Larnac and his 3 wives for another winter. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, Queenstown prepares to host the Latin American and Spanish Film Festival for the first time and another wintry blast. We have details of more snow on the way for the South tomorrow.
Channel 39 brings you a series of 45-minute documentaries looking at the future and the past. Wednesday nights at 7:30, repeating Friday nights at 8:30, only on Channel 39.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever.
Hi, I'm Dennis Charlotte, and road racing motorcycles is my lifetime passion. It's a massive adrenaline rush, but the high-speed crashes have been tough on the body over the years. I almost felt as old as my mate Ian.
Sportsval, supporting tendons, ligaments and cartilage. And Energy Plus helps replace the energy that everyday living takes away.
Now I feel more alive and have more sustained energy to really enjoy my racing.
Buy 2 packs of Sportsval and get 2 packs of Energy Plus absolutely free. So call now, 0800 502 402.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Hi, welcome back to Alex Campbell Menswear. Check out our fantastic knitwear selection. 25% off. Possum, merino possum, pure wools, wool mixes. Some of them are even New Zealand made. 25% off.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Autumn is here. Too late to sow grass seed, but never fear. Ready Lawn is here. Ready Lawn, your perfect all year round solution. Call Ready Lawn today.
Welcome back. Well, due to damage caused by the recent rain event across the South Island, the Taieri Gorge Railway won't be operating its scheduled excursions over the next 10 days. Dunedin Railway's Operations Manager Grant Craig says maintenance staff are assessing the situation and planning repair work so it can be operating as soon as possible. Dunedin had its wettest July day since records began in 1918, and the heavy rain caused slips and washouts along the gorge track. The company is contacting passengers who are booked during that period and are offering alternative travel options. Well, Queenstown will host its first ever Latin American and Spanish Film Festival in September. The festival's screened in New Zealand for 16 years, but never in Queenstown. Mina Amso reports.
11 Latin American films will feature at the first ever Latin American and Spanish Film Festival in Queenstown in September.
200.
Festival organisers say the films are a mix of new and old and feature 11 countries including Brazil, Peru, Venezuela and Chile. Festival organisers Elizabeth Diaz and Carla Spring say it's exciting to bring Latin American and Spanish culture to the resort town.
Here is a multicultural city, so Kiwis and local people, I think, and the people from other countries will be really interested about our culture.
Very excited about it. It took a little while and, a little bit of frustration here and there. Yeah, it's just all happening now. So we got 4 weeks, 5 weeks before we can show this to Queenstown.
The movie lineup includes 4 award-winning films. Alba is a 2016 drama from Ecuador, which follows a painfully shy 11-year-old girl as she faces the struggles of adolescence and building a relationship with her father that she hardly knew. Other stories include The Son of the Bride, a 2001 Argentinian comedy.
No llores, ¿eh? Feliz cumpleaños.
¿Quién cumpleaños? Para aquí. Quero. And The Story of Me, a 2009 Brazilian drama based on the true story of a Brazilian storyteller, Roberto Carlos Ramos, who at the age of 6 was committed by his mother to an institution for poor children in the city of Belo Horizonte. Still illiterate at 13, Roberto moves on by using his vivid imagination.
Você entra na primeira turma, vai ter que fazer teste.
Roberto Carlos escreveu sua história.
He is considered irredeemable after trying to escape over 100 times.
Olha pra mim, meu olho. Isso. Ai, eu morro de medo dessa história.
Queenstown-based Argentinian couple Jeremias and Eva are looking forward to the festival and are hoping the movie selection plus a free entry bonus will encourage viewers to attend.
I want to see the Argentinian one. I didn't see it. It's supposed to be really good.
I have friends from all over the world, so I hope that all of them come.
The English subtitled movies will screen at the Queenstown Arts Centre for 10 nights from the 8th of September. Mina Amso, The South Today.
Well, now recapping tonight's top stories on The South Today. Some community members are seeking reassurance their children and properties will remain safe when the Abbotsford Home reopens in Dunedin in August. The Department of Conservation and the Invercargill iSites are now working together to make information for tourists more accessible. And a house in Blanket Bay narrowly escaped being destroyed by a slip during the weekend's flooding. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times. Barry Stewart's here. Hi, Barry.
Hello, Callum. We continue our wash-up of the flood. We went out to Henley today, found the residents were tired, cold, wet, fed up and angry after 5 days in isolation. So some stories from there. Also, the forecast's not looking too flash, particularly in the Waitaki area, so hopefully not too much more to come. Meeting tonight in Mosgiel on the floods, so we'll be at that and report on what happens there. The court has ruled against continued extraction from the Saddle Hill quarry. Story on that. Police are warning of significant increase in online sales frauds or scams through Facebook, so look out for that. Interesting story. We might still be arguing with the Australians over Phar Lap and Pavlova. But University of Otago research shows one ancient black swan species is uniquely New Zealand. So read all about that in the paper tomorrow. In sport, we have a look at the build-up towards the club rugby final.
All right, thanks, Barry. Okay. Tomorrow's ODT. Time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Silberhorn Sportsval.
In today's southern view of jet boats moored in Queenstown's harbour, and also the Flemish Garden in Dunedin's railway station. Situation map, and that cold front passes over southern districts tonight, bringing a day of snowy showers and very cold southwesterly winds tomorrow. The weather should clear though for Friday, with widespread frosts Friday night. To the southern towns, and it's a case of staying inside and keeping warm here tomorrow. Wintry showers across the board with highs of only 6 degrees and those cold southerly winds. To the central outlook, and more snow here for these towns. Alexandra, snowy showers later and 6 degrees. Same for Wanaka. Queenstown only gets to 5 degrees for tomorrow. To the northern outlook, and the temperatures take a big dive here as well. Oamaru with a freshening sou'wester and rain gets to 7 degrees. Snow showers inland for Omarama and Twizel with highs of only 6 degrees tomorrow. For Dunedin tonight, cloud increasing with westerly winds. The overnight low is 6 degrees. Tomorrow, rain with snow flurries on the hills from later in the day. Cold, gusty sou'westerlies, and that will clear at night. The high 7 and the low 2. For Friday, it's pretty good, fine with sunny periods increasing through the day. The winds dying out, and a frosty night. Look at that low, -1. And down to Invercargill for tonight, showers and fresh westerlies. The low is 6. Tomorrow, cold gusty sou'westers with wintry showers, snow and hail likely as well, but clearing later, a high of 7. And Friday becoming fine and the winds dying out with a frosty night, -1 the overnight low. And that's our news for this Wednesday. And for the latest Southern Region news, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and also online, channel39.co.nz. From the South Today team, good night.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.